Hi, and welcome back. It's another pedal of the day, and it's a pretty special one for me because, well, if any of you have visited Macari's at any time and we've sat down and talked about my old pedals, there's one pedal I would definitely have shown you because it's one of my favourite things I've ever owned, and I'll never get rid of it. And it's this minty mint Supa Tone Bender from 1973. It's just a beautiful thing. And it tells the story of the beginning of this pedal. Because there are like mistakes and weirdness going on it. And I love that because it just tells me about what my dad's company was doing and how my uncle was thinking at the time, what was affecting the pedal. So basically, I think people were looking for a lot more sustain and a lot more depth and fuzz. And of course, silicon had come along and made that possible. So instead of the more transparent germanium sounds, people were looking for that massive sustain and big walls of fuzz, almost raining fuzz. So they made a thing called the Supa Tone Bender. It had 4 stages of gain. It was like, you've got to say, it was very much like a big muff, but with quite a few changes that made it really quite different. But the things I really love are things like when you look at the circuit board, obviously they didn't have it quite right. So the transistor legs are in kind of wrong. They're in a funny position in there. So they were playing with it before they got it right. And one of the things that I always loved is when you look at the words under the knobs, you realize that these big blocks of purple were put on because they originally printed the words wrong. So it like says sustain under there, and I think it says sustain under all of them actually or something. I think they might also sustain. But then they blotted them out with these blocks of purple and then put the right words on top. So when you turn it in the light, you can see sustain written under it. And the other thing, of course, is they only made it like this for about 6 months. There aren't that many around. It changed into a silver pedal with the other Supa Tone Bender logo on it. So it's quite a rare thing. But why did they change it? And I can only assume it suffered the same fate as the Power Boost, because the Power Boost was made as an orange pedal. And when it was taken to the Dallas Trade Fair, the Americans really loved the sound of the pedal, as obviously did Dave Gilmour and Jeff Beck, but they felt it just looked a little bit too flower power and a little bit too late 60s, I suppose. And it was the 70s, so things were moving on. So they made it look harder, like they did with the Power Boost. It turned into the Overdriver. They painted it black and with the big Overdriver logo on it. So the Power Boost and the Supa Tone Bender became a much more industrial looking pedal. So this is quite a rare thing. So last year, both myself and Dave Main got a bit obsessed with Supa Tone Benders and Jumbo Tone Benders. In fact, I think Dave ended up having on his desk every iteration of the Jumbo Tone Bender and Supa, and studied how the circuit progressed through the years. And we got chatting and we felt it was time for me and Steve, my cousin, to get the old tool, the old Jumbo tool, and actually have it reconditioned and remade. So we've remade this pedal for the first time in 50 years, 60 years, my goodness. And we've remade the first version, Supa Tone Bender. It's an incredible thing. And of course, being us, and Dave being Dave, we've gone a little bit over the top with it. As you know, if you follow us in our pedals, you know we are slightly mad. So if you open this up, I'm just going to turn my amp down a second and have a look inside. You'll see an absolute replica of the original board. It's just beautiful work. You'll notice that the transistor legs are put in slightly wrong, like the original. That is mad. But Dave felt it should happen. We waited a long time to get these Italian Goldo custom switches. The pots were custom ordered. The knobs were custom ordered. The paint was custom mixed. We couldn't buy this colour paint off the shelf. We had to have a custom orange mixed. Same with the pink, I think. And then the knobs were custom orders as well. These are not things you can buy off the shelf. So we're particularly proud of this one. You want to know the really mad thing? We've printed the wrong words underneath there, had them blocked out, and then printed the right words on top, just like the original. So when you turn it in the light, tone turns into sort of stonin, because you can see sustain underneath. Now, some people would say that's stupid and a waste of time, but I don't think it is. I think it's called doing the job properly, and allowing people to buy the very closest thing to my pride and joy that you can. So if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I think it's really, really cool. That is arguable, whether I should have done that or not. What is not arguable is this pedal sounds incredible. So let's plug it in and let you hear it. You know, when Dave makes something like this, there's just no half measures. The other reason I love the Supa Tone Bender is, you know, when I was a kid growing up, when I was 14, I was a huge Genesis fan. I remember sitting in study at school and listening to Steve Hackett solos with my mates, and you know, sometimes we'd be there crying listening to the solos. It's all a bit sad. And then, of course, I got into, you know, the 80s came along, and, you know, I was a punk suddenly. And, Genesis rubbish. Oh, I listened to that. And now I love it again. It's life, isn't it? It's guitar life. We might be waiting a while for the sustain to stop, so I won't do it. It is a monstrous, monstrous fuzz. And it's not just about Steve Hackett. It's Tony Joe White, of course, that amazing, what do they call it? The swamp, take you right down to the swamp. I believe Joe Perry's got one on his board at the moment. I noticed there was one on Mark Webber's board at Glastonbury for in all those, you know, pulp songs. Oh, and there's a great picture of Van Halen, and they're all doing backing vocals, and there's a Supa Tone Bender on the floor. I'm very proud of that one. I don't think they put backing vocals through it. Hopefully he used it on guitar at some point. I don't know, might use it for a doorstop. I'm not claiming Van Halen used my pedal. Anyway, let's have a listen to this. So at full tilt, it's just a monster. The tonal sweep is nothing short of ridiculous. So. cleanup is very, very tonal, as you'd expect. So there we are on 4 or 5. Very Sex Pistols, that. When I pull it up to full now, you're not just going to hear a gain change. It's going to be this big whoosh of bass. You know what it's like? It's like playing 2 guitars. It's like having 2 guitars playing, like having this big, fat, bassy thing going on, and this really nasty over the top. It's like there's one guitar. Another one, Placebo, 20th Century Boy, Supa Tone Bender. I know the producer very well. And now let me just back the gain off and show you that sort of more bluesy. So there's old school fuzz in there as well. Just call me a proud dad. There you go. So, yeah, there we have it. It's in stock on macaris.co.uk. Very, very proud of this one. So, yeah, meet your granddad. Hello there. All right, son. Yeah, you look a bit like me. Oh, I see you've got the mistakes on the words there. Yeah, they put the mistakes on the words. Oh, what do you think of that? I think it's great. Well, so do I. Anyway, Supa Tone Bender, folks. 73 version. If that doesn't rock, I don't know what does.